Hey, good morning and good evening across the One Piece of verse. This is Lord Von-Ikari doing a discussion and review for the latest chapter, chapter 1070 of One Piece. Now, the title of the chapter is The Most Powerful Being, as stated by Vegapunk. Now, again, that's his own opinion on that, but let's dive into this discussion starting at the cover page. Now, as we've seen, this is a continuation of the Germa 66 cover page, focusing on a sneak peek at the past of the members of Mads. Starting with Vegapunk, Caesar, Queen, and Judge. Now, there's also a particular lady in this cover story that is beside the four Mads members, the four confirmed Mad members. Now, this is a speculation by the verse, by the community, that it might be either two people, two possible or potential individuals. One, Sora, Judge's wife, Sanji's mom, the mom of the other four kids of Germa 66. She's a scientist, so that's a possibility. Two, second, Dose. Second person would be Stussy. Now, why would that be? Well, one, her outfit, seemingly Stussy enough for me. Her hair kind of resembles Stussy. The hat kind of resembles Stussy. Also, she's very well informed about Vegapunk and also the inner workings of Egghead Island. Now, the one thing that kind of irks me is if she looks like this now. Sorry, if she looks like that in the past and she still kind of looks the same. Why?
Why?
Does she have a devil fruit that stops her aging, similar to sugar? Or by some chance, is she the person that went under the Opi no Mi's immortality surgery? Again, that's a huge speculation, but at the end of the day, that's what we do. That's what One Piece theories, speculators, fans do. We make guesses because it's fun. But that's a possibility. Again, we don't know who has been given the immortality surgery by the prior or the previous owner of the Opi no Mi. We don't know. We know the ability exists, so that means it was done before by someone to someone. Gets you thinking, right? Well, let's now focus on the chapter at hand. Now, we start pretty much with Luffy, Lucci, and Sentomaru. We pretty much start off after on the aftermath of the attack of Lucci to Sentomaru. Now, as a lot of people have not really speculated, but pretty much believed, Sentomaru ain't down for the count. He's still alive. He's still conscious. Luffy was apologizing to him, saying that, sorry, I distracted you, so you got hit. But no, Sentomaru was able to see Lucci's attack and tried to block it, but couldn't. It's that simple. Now, is this a speed feat or how can I put it? A observation hockey feat by Sentomaru? I'm just gonna say that he just saw it. He is a well-trained Marine. He is strong, so he should at least be able to do that. At least, bare minimum. Lucci still looking to go after Sentomaru, still wants to take him out so that they can at least be able to fight using the Seraphims against the Straw Hat Pirates. Luffy shuts that down with a Gummo Gummo no whip that sends freaking Lucci packing. Flying, literally flying. And Luffy being in Gear 5, going all Looney Tunes, Tasmanian Devil in the background, which is absolutely amazing, entertaining. Still, Oda is still showing off how far this fruit can go, how Looney Tunes, how not fourth wall breaking yet, but how much gagginess, I don't know, how much of a gag character this fruit can turn Luffy into. So again, we got a Tasmanian Devil situation going on in the background. Chopper and Jinbei advising Luffy to get things pretty much tidy up as soon as possible so they can get Atlas fixed or healed up. But Luffy, due to the momentum that he did doing that move against Lucci, ain't able to stop spinning and literally drilled himself into the ground, which is borderlining literally American cartoon Looney Tune gag stuff, which is absolutely amazing. Now we also see that the Seraphims are taking action, attacking all the other Cyberpol agents. We see S-Hawk doing S-Hawk things. We saw Jinbei, or the S-Shark, using Senior Pink's ability by manipulating the ground, turning it to liquid, which is absolutely bonkers. Just literally shows how broken the Seraphims are to a degree. But we also get some information about how this pretty much works. How did the Vegapunks was able to use a Paramecia ability and fuse it to the Seraphims? Frankie pretty much crying his eyes out, thinking that maybe Senior is dead, hence why S-Shark has that ability. But no, Vegapunk has mentioned that the ability to be able to replicate a fruit specifically is possible with Zoan fruits, like artificial Zoan fruits. So it's absolutely possible. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible with other fruits such as Logias or Paramecius. They're just done absolutely differently. It says here that for Paramecia abilities, what you need is the lineage factor, meaning the DNA of the user of that said fruit, and then you synthesize it with some sort of additive that the Vegapunks has created, mix it with the DNA, and then transfuse it. So, to make it a lot simpler, get a DNA, preferably blood sample of a Devil Fruit user, mix it with some blood, and then transfuse, a blood transfusion. And there's a possibility of you gaining a fruit. Now, it's definitely a lot more complicated than that, but that's a much more easier way to explain it. Get a DNA, get it into a bloodstream, boom, you got the same power as the owner of the Paramecia ability. But it goes deeper to that, because they call it green blood. So it's a completely different thing altogether. It's not that simple, but I'm just giving you like a much more simpler idea how it's being done. It's literally just blood transfusion, with added steps. Now, my question to that is it because of the nature of the devil fruit, hence why the abilities can not be passed the way that it normally would be through blood transfusion, that you need to add some sort of additive to synthesize it, to fuse it, and create a wholly different, a whole new different substance so that you can copy the ability. Plus, as well, it has not been shown or proven yet if it can be used or transfused into a regular human being. As far as we know, as far as we have right now, it's only showing seraphims. And we all know that seraphims have the lineage factor or the DNA of lunarians. Lunarians are known to have tough bodies, to have bodies that are able to survive any environment. Now, is there a meaning to that? Is it because that human beings or regular humans in the One Piece verse cannot pretty much have the same ability even by this method, and only beings with such physique as lunarians are able to withstand this? Does that mean that Blackbeard is also part lunarian? Because he was able to have two fruits. Maybe. Possibly. We don't know yet. Hence why we're kind of speculating and adding up some theories, but that's something to throw out there. Now, there is also one thing that I skipped from Vegapunk's dialogue here, which got me thinking. Because this is how Oda kind of manipulates the situation or tricks you. Vegapunk said, and I quote, based on the TCB translation here, "I tried my hands at Logius, but they were trickier than expected. Then Frankie ... Now, that doesn't mean that he was not able to replicate a Logia's ability or fruit. But it also doesn't mean that he was able to do so as well. Or should I have said that differently? It doesn't mean that he was not able to do it, but also it doesn't mean that he did it as well. So there's a possibility that there is a replicated Logia fruit out there. Now, the one thing that came to mind is Ace's fruit. Why? Why would I say that? Well, here's the thing. We know that Doflamingo had the devil fruit, right? During Dressrosa. We all know that. But where did he get it? Where did Doflamingo get the fruit? Now, my theory is one, Lilith. Lilith might have sold the fruit to Doflamingo. Because here's the thing. Would the Vegapunks need a person to eat the devil fruit? Or would they just need a DNA sample of the fruit? Because everything is composed of DNA. Everything is composed of DNA. Right? So, man, human, animals, plants, everything has a DNA structure. That's also including fruits. It's the building blocks of life. Fruits ain't no exception. And I would assume devil fruits are the same. But again, that's a whole lot of speculation, a lot of theories. At the end of the day, it's something to keep our minds at. is they are looking for an alternative source of energy, and they might have been trying to experiment with that, or might have been successful to it. It's just that it's not as potent as what they were after. Because if you remember, Lilith has mentioned that the main source of power of Egghead Island is fire. And Lilith is evil, the evil side of Vegapunk, and she is after a lot of resources. And back in the days, Doflamingo has a lot of freaking resources, folks. So, going here, we see that S-Snake does have the Mero Mero no Mi, which is bonkers on another level. But what bothers me, and bothered the verse itself, the OP verse itself, is that why are the CP agents turning into stones? She's a freaking kid, man.
FBI, open up!
Come on. She's maybe 8. We also see that S-Bear was able to do an Orsus shock. So it just means that every ability that the Devil Fruit user or the Devil Fruit owner is able to do, the Seraphims can do as well. Now, that is also this is also something that Vegapunk has some questions on, because he wasn't able to see if he can replicate the awakening of said fruits, or is that only locked or available to the original DF users. And that's something that we will see in the future, maybe. But I would like it that it won't, so at least it would limit the abilities of the Seraphims. It's not gonna make them so overpowered. So again, we have Vegapunk and the other Straw Hats pretty much talking, pretty much understanding now why the warlords were abolished because of this. Because they now see that the literal Seraphims are pretty much the warlords themselves with upgrades. Now we continue on with Lucci, Sentomaru, and Luffy fighting. And that's pretty cool. I like the idea that we're still continuing on with that. We see that Luffy went full on Gigant. Like full on Gigant. Full on giant Luffy. Kind of reminds me of Mega... No. Gigant. Is that Gigant? What was the term for the Pokemon, the most recent Pokemon ability? Sorry, the last gen's ability. But again, the giant Gengar. That's pretty much what I'm going with. The giant Gengar. Let's see here. So again, wait, let me just try to fix something here right now. Okay. So again, Luffy tried to literally eat Lucci, reminiscing on the Alabasta situation where Luffy tried to eat Crocodile, which was insane. That was absolutely insane. Also, we see pretty much Luffy literally having a huge body, so he really went full giant on this one. And here's the fun part. He used the rubble that is inside his mouth and spits, literally spitting at Lucci, just showing the disrespect that Lucci deserves. For thinking he can go toe-to-toe with the Monkey D! The Nicky D! The king of the pirates, the future king of the pirates, Luffy. Because at the end of the day, I'm on the camp that Luffy absolutely low diffs, not mid diff, not high diff, low diff Lucci in this exchange. And to be honest, there's some information, not information, but the comments that are coming out that Lucci was able to hit Luffy. As far as I can remember, that never happened. They clashed last chapter, but Luffy was disrespecting this man left and right, moving his head left and right, up and down. Even to one point, he fell asleep while Lucci was trying to hit him with a Shigan. And it ain't happening, bruh. It ain't happening. Even right now, it ain't happening. Your boy Lucci is nothing. He is being low diff by the king of the pirates. So sorry for the Lucci lovers out there, for the furry nation out there. Your boy ain't got nothing.
Mutant.
So we see pretty much Luffy using one of the bridges or one of the tunnels or the tubes as literal wrestling ropes to bounce his body off to do a rocket, a Gomu rocket. But the one thing that really got my blood boiling out of a freaking excitement is the panels where freaking Luffy took a piece of his hair and turned it to freaking goggles, to spectacles, to glasses. Why? How? What on God's green earth is happening? How is he having this ability? How is he able to do manner manipulation to this degree? Because we all know that Luffy can manipulate his body and manipulates inanimate objects and people and turn them into rubber. Yes, he was able to hold plasma. He rubbified it. Yeah, we know. But we didn't know that he can morph things to something else. Because this is what we saw was literal glasses forming out of his freaking hair. He made glass. He made glass from rubber. How far can this ability go? Can he literally just make a spear? Because there's theories out there that Luffy will have a spear weapon to literally become Sun God Nika. So can he just suddenly summon a spear? Like what, Sun Wukong? There's your Sun Wukong situation, OP verse. This is something that you wanted, and there's a possibility now. God, this is amazing. We are absolutely going above and beyond on what Luffy's ability can do. It just goes back to that explanation by the Gorosei that the Nika fruit, the limitation of this fruit is the imagination of its user. So if it's literally something like that, Luffy can just imagine something and it will happen. That's the end all be all thing that I can think of that is possible with this fruit. Again, it's possible, but it doesn't mean that it will happen or can happen, because we don't know the limitations of this fruit yet, or if there are any limitations other than the limitations of the user, the imagination of the user. Let's continue. So we see pretty much Luffy hit Lucci with the Gomu Gomu no booming white rocket, which literally closes the deal and knocks out Lucci. He said it himself. He's losing consciousness. He can't hold on. Boom. He's unconscious. I don't know for how many minutes. I don't know for how many seconds, but he was unconscious. Jinbei meeting up with S-Snake, saying that it's nice to have a nicer version of Boa, and S-Snake being who she is. Really, she has a personality. Blushing, feeling again, she's blushing because she was complimented and saying that Jinbei is an insolent dummy and she's just following orders and shit. So that's kind of cute. That's cute. That's a very wholesome scene there. Tomorrow pretty much asking to make sure that Luffy commits to his promise of taking Vegapunk out of the island. And then we got Luffy, Jinbei, Bonnie, and Chopper with Atlas going through the rocket, heading to the Fabio base, Fabio phase, and reaching it within 30 seconds time. And then we see pretty much Sentomaru down for the count, Lucci back up, regular human form, stay and pretty much having the full control over the Seraphims. Now, the last battle is going to be interesting. Next week will be a break. Understandable. But the following week will be absolutely interesting. Because we got Kizaru. Literally Kizaru on the last battle. Saying that they will continue as planned and to get as many warships as possible. We're getting another Buster Call situation. And if Kizaru's showing up, is he gonna go toe-to-toe with Luffy in Gear 5? Or is he going to fight majority of the Straw Hats? Like maybe Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy versus Kizaru. And also, will this guarantee or show us that Luffy can just willy-nilly go to Gear 5 whenever he wants? Because again, you can say that yes, he can do that, but how many times? How many times in a long succession is he able to do that? Because yeah, I know he did it twice against Kaido. I know that. But how many times in succession can he do it? Is it really just something he can do now? Anytime, every time? He has well rested, so I can see him doing that again. But this is Kizaru we're talking about. He can pretty much take a long time fighting against Kizaru and then up or down. And will he be able to power up again afterwards? Again, I'm not that sure though. Because limitations are always good, are kind of good when it comes to stuff that are introduced that are seemingly overpowered. So, for now, that's all coming from me. I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm putting out in this channel and others as well. And I hope this also gives you some ideas on the potential theories and potential ideas or speculations of what can and what might be happening in the coming chapters ahead. So for now, thank you. Good evening. Good night. Sayonara. Saraba. And let's all
出航だ